Hey guys, I'm Melhorn. In this video, we're going to go fishing for blue catfish where they're not supposed to be in the wintertime. Where I'm fishing at on the Catawba River chain of lakes in the Carolinas, what we're facing this winter is a rare amount of water and flooding that has come through. Not really widespread flooding, but just river flooding. River's been up, full pond, moving a lot of water through 24 hours a day for a week at a time, which is rare for us. It doesn't happen like that out here. Our water went up, bite was pretty good. As it started to drop, kept moving, started to be able to pick off fish around the channel edges. The new water, fresh water came in from some of the upper lakes, the bottoms of those lakes. That changed that whole game and dynamic. Places where I was catching fish no longer looked the same as far as bait and where fish were holding at. So what I did today was I got back out here and decided to try something totally unorthodox and go fishing where the fish are not supposed to be, and that's shallow. Started hitting the bank, hitting some shallow stuff, and just to see if that change would put my bait in front of some fish that had not been feeding heavily. I decided to go away from some of the river areas where there was a lot of current, a lot of movement, in the back of some creeks and up along some banks and some coves, just to see if there's any fish hanging out, still hungry and still feeding.
Alright, I think I got one going off here, coming up the boat. He's swimming right to me. There he is. These suckers will hit it sometimes and come right at you. Muddy water, high water, shallow water, wintertime blue cats. Heavier than I thought. Look at that big old head. He's trying to get that head out of it somehow. Take a big old gizzard shad head, and I will get that gizzard shad head back. I want that gizzard shad head back. Oh, look at that bait. Good bait. Looking blue. Got some mud on them. It's usually a sign of I'm gonna have my thumb back. Inactive fish. Wintertime. I'm wanting my gizzard shad head. Can't have my gizzard shad head.
As far as bait goes on these trips, I tried different stuff. I was fishing with two baits that are indigenous to our waters, white perch and also gizzard shad. They both live and thrive here in this system, and both real good baits. Really saw no difference in either one of them as far as their effectiveness. I'd suggest the same. You're fishing in an area with skipjack, you skipjack, and whatever other local bait. I think fish will hit it. I would vary up the bait size though. I think I only caught one of these fish on a large bait. They seem to be hitting smaller baits. I always try to put out a mixture of them. You know, if I'm fishing for a big fish, I'll put out big bait. It's not that I don't think it's that the big fish hit big baits more than they do smaller baits, but the big baits definitely eliminate bites and catching the smaller fish.
This one I think swimming off with a bait somewhere. Hopefully he didn't get the anchor. Oh, he's under the boat. No, he is across the anchor. Oop. Oop. He is somewhere that way. He's back behind the boat, doing the nasty dance. Oh, it's a good fish. It's a good fish. He's went the other way. He has went the other way. That's crazy. And I'm back over here. Sorry about that. A complete 360 of the boat. That's shallow water fishing for you right there, folks. They realize that hook's in them and they take off. That's the fun part of it. People don't think these blue cats come up here shallow in the winter. Right conditions, right time, they will. That's a good fish. It's a good fish. Nice big male. Well, if he'll open his mouth and quit rolling, we'll get him in the boat. Good wintertime blue cat. Yeah, he's in the teens. Looking fish. Nice looking fish. Good fish.
As you can see, I was able to put a couple of good fish in the boat, and I felt pretty good about this location.
Smoking line off of that one. There's fish in here. That is for sure. They are back here. It's muddy. Water's about 49 degrees. Not exactly warm. It's actually cooler than the main lake. Coming off some flood levels here on the lake. They're drawing it down. More rain's coming tomorrow. So they're in a pretty good drawdown. Surprised the fish are shallow, to be perfectly honest. Very surprised, but I fished this morning. Had a guide trip. The bite was not good. Came here just on a hunch. We couldn't come here and fish because they didn't have a license for this state. We tried some shallow stuff somewhere else this morning, but that was early morning fishing. A lot of times these fish bite in the afternoon shallow. That's what they're doing now. That's a nice one. I think I'm hooked into a good fish. He started pulling some line off. I was just reeling rods in the move too. So I'm gonna try moving a little deeper. I don't think I'm gonna do that now. Looks like a decent fish. Oh. A little heavier. Sitting in about 6 feet of water. Got all gizzard shad out. It's funny, fished all morning, caught 3 fish. I've been back here. I think this is number 4 I put in the boat. It's a good fish. Good one. Look at that. Nice fish. Hello, world. Good fish. Catch them all day long like that. Get back alive.
Most people will tell you to fish deep for big catfish in the wintertime, and a lot of times that's the case. A lot of times that is the place to catch them. However, like I've said before, first and foremost, fish want to be in a place that has oxygen. Plain and simple. If the water has oxygen deep or shallow, they're okay in that water. Second, they want food. They want to be someplace where they have some food. Food is important. And then third is comfort. The bottom line is, as long as the water ain't frozen and they can swim in it, they're going to be okay. There are certain temperature ranges where they're more comfortable, but if the food and the good eating and the oxygen is in shallow water, they're going to be there. So that's the thing you have to look at.
All right, that one is swimming off. See it there? He's got it and going that way. Woohoo! He hit that bait and tug off. He may come out of the water. It's got to be close to the top. We're only sitting in about 5 feet of water back here. Really shallow. Part of the reason I came back here, I seen birds. We've got some gulls set up back here, which tells me there's some bait probably getting pushed to the top of the water at some point. We tried this early this morning on my guide trip, but I knew it was too early in the day for it to work. It always seems like the shallow water is better in the afternoon. This is a good fish. This feels like a good fish. A little boga action on it. Look at him go. He does not want to come in the boat. For some reason, I do not know why. He does not want to come in the boat. Probably a fish I should net. Got him. Good one. There he is, folks. Good looking fish.
It's part of the double-edged sword of fishing in the winter. You got to deal with the weather elements, rain, snow, cold, but the reward can be pretty good. It's a good time of the year to catch some fish, especially before it gets super cold. This November, December, early January, if the weather holds out, can be a really good time to get on some fish, catch some big fish. So if you don't have ice where you're at, try to get out on the water and do some fishing. It's a good time to be out.